Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. We're here to give you some very, very exciting news today that will change the lives of many adults here in our great state of Illinois. Too many people in the state of Illinois do not possess a high school equivalency credential. As the demand for advanced degrees increases, obtaining a high school diploma is a bare minimum in the modern workplace environment. According to figures reported by Statistical Atlas based on 2015 U.S. Census data, 12.7% of Illinois adults aged 25 and older do not possess a high school diploma. Unfortunately, the hardest hit individuals tend to be minority populations, both Black and Hispanic young men and women. In the Rockford region, for example, an estimated 32,000 adults do not possess a high school degree. In terms of demographic breakdown, the figures equate to the following: 21.5% of Black females, 22.7% of Black males, 40.9% of Latinas, and 42.1% of Latinos who do not possess such high school credentials. These figures are astonishing. In terms of the state as a whole, around 1 million individuals lack a high school equivalency credential. Such statistics simply cannot stand any longer. And our office believes something must be done in order to better prepare our state's future and current workers. This is where Goodwill and Excel Center come into play. My office and I first learned of the Excel Center's work through reading a 2016 article by the Rockford Register. The piece was written by Isaac Guerrero, who's with us here today. He detailed the strong relationship the Rockford community has with Goodwill and the equally strong relationship Goodwill has with Rock Valley College. Clearly, there is an appetite to continue the good work that has already existed with such programs as Good Grads. Creating an Excel Center in Rockford is the next logical step. Beyond earning a high school diploma, Excel Center students are offered the opportunity to engage in dual credit and career and technical coursework. In fact, in the 2015-16 school year, 96% of Indiana Excel graduates earned college credit and/or an industry certification in addition to their own high school diploma. Further, evidence of the positive effects produced by the Excel Centers comes from an independent academic study. In 2014, Dr. Michael Hicks, a professor and director of the Center for Economic and Business Research at Ball State University, analyzed the economic impact of Excel Centers in Indiana. Hicks found, and I quote, "Wage growth of those non-high school graduates who attended Excel but did not graduate were more than $2,830 greater than the average Indiana adult without a high school diploma. Those who graduated saw wages of more than $4,550 higher after graduation than the typical adult without a high school diploma." Further analysis of this study's model using 2016 data showed graduates, compared to their high school dropout cohort, created a total benefit of $9,330 per student. With all this said, Illinois needs a chance to participate in this exciting multi-state experiment. The first step in changing the statutory language in the Illinois School Code, which places an age restriction on individuals from earning a high school diploma. And that is exactly what our Representative SOSNOWSKI's House Bill 2527 does. This legislation calls for an ongoing relationship between Goodwill, regional offices of education, the Illinois Community College Board, and the Illinois State Board of Education in order to help Rockford area adults earn a high school diploma. By passing Representative SOSNOWSKI's legislation, I am confident the growth experienced by such places as Indiana could also happen right here in the great state of Illinois. So without further ado, I'd like to present to you Representative SOSNOWSKI.
Well, what more is there to say? You covered all of it, darn it. So, but I'll be brief. Just a small part of the effort here. Obviously, there was many other representatives, including Representative Cabello, Letitia Wallace, Senator Stottleman, and also Senator Severson, who helped pitch in on this effort. So I couldn't have done it without them. And really, the bulk of the work was done by Goodwill and Sam and all the folks here who really did all the heavy lifting on that. Definitely happy to play my small part in that, though. I think it's really a great opportunity as we look through education, not just in our region, but around the state, about having, the need for alternatives is important. Giving some choice and opportunities to those who maybe something bad came up in their life or through things outside of their reach or their control might have affected them, or issues of maturity. I mean, obviously there's a wide range of things that could happen that could affect an individual, and to be able to create this opportunity to allow for somebody at any age to be able to get a high school diploma, to get the extra skilled training certification program that Goodwill and other states have done, it's really an exciting thing to be able to bring to Illinois. So we look forward to continuing to work with Goodwill, and you guys have done a great job. And Sam, otherwise I'll turn it over to you to give you you can give all the specifics and answer any additional questions. So thanks. Good to work with you.
Well, before I get started, I want you to know, Lieutenant Governor, that you are the highest elected official to come to Goodwill, Northern Illinois since Dan Quayle in the early 90s. So,
I'm a card-holding member.
Excellent.
It's for real. Thank you.
Well, the Lieutenant Governor gave kind of the brutal facts of where we're at education levels-wise here in the Rockford area. In addition to that, there's some 41,000 people in poverty, and we know that education levels are tied to poverty levels. So this opportunity for the Excel Center, we think, can go a long way to offsetting those numbers. Right now, we stand here, different numbers, but anywhere from 1,000 to 4,000 jobs in the Rockford area that go unfilled because the unemployed don't have the skill sets or the educational level to get those jobs. So the Excel Center is a perfect model to get over that hurdle of matching skilled labor with open jobs. So we're really looking forward to moving this forward. We believe that the Excel Center is the way to do it. It's being proven out in places like Austin, Texas, Memphis, Tennessee, Washington, D.C. Just today we learned that the Maryland legislators passed the Excel Center for that state, and they'll put an Excel Center in Baltimore. So again, we're just thrilled that you've given us all this support. We look forward to the next steps. For people in the audience, make sure you fill out those witness slips. We found out those make a big difference. So again, we can't thank you enough, Lieutenant Governor, and as a token of our appreciation, whenever a participant walks through those doors that you did today, they have these rights. Won't go into all of them, but we treat people very well here with the respect and dignity that every human being deserves. So we'll take that as a token of our appreciation.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so I really want to thank Representative SOSNOWSKI and the other elected officials. They've all been with us from day one. We had a little stop-start last fall, but kicked it into high gear in the spring session, and we're very confident that we'll continue down this path through the legislature. I also want to thank Courtney Geiger, who is here in the office, or here in the building. She's done a great job here locally with elected officials shepherding this thing through, working with your office. So thank you, Courtney. So with that, I'll turn it over to Kim REIER. Kim is from the Indianapolis Goodwill, and we've developed a tremendous relationship The reason why they exist in Austin, Texas, and Memphis, Tennessee, and Washington, D.C. is people like Kim who have gone around the country and helped put these in place. So Kim, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. My name is Kim REIER, and I'm with Goodwill Industries of Central and Southern Indiana, which started the Excel Center in 2010. You've heard a little bit about it, so my job here is to tell you what it is. The Excel Center is the first of its kind adult high school, and it's the first of its kind because it creates opportunities for those who previously dropped out of high school to re-engage in their education and earn a full, state-recognized high school diploma. Students may initially enroll in the Excel Center where earning a high school diploma is the goal, but we know that it's also focusing on what comes next in life after high school that will truly prepare students for lifelong success. In addition to helping students earn a full high school diploma, the Excel Center places a heavy emphasis on helping students graduate with either college credits or an industry-recognized credential in a high-growth sector of the local job market. The Excel Center school model is built upon the foundation of helping students identify any of the academic or non-academic barriers that stand in the way of them completing their education. All students enrolling in the Excel Center have at least one thing in common, and that is that at some point in time, something happened in their lives that made it that completing high school was just not a possibility for them. We know that many students will show up to the Excel Center with some of the same issues that led them to dropping out of the school in the first place, and it is our job to help them overcome those barriers. To that end, the Excel Center helps students navigating in any personal, interpersonal, or environmental issues that they may be facing. The Excel Center also offers free childcare and transportation assistance to ensure that students are able to show up to school and focus on their schoolwork, knowing that their children are well cared for. The Excel Center opened with one school in 2010 during a time where individuals were finding themselves either unemployed or having difficulty finding jobs that offered family-sustaining wages, and has quickly grown today to 12 schools across Indiana with many more schools planned. To date, as the Lieutenant Governor said, over 2,300 adults have earned a high school diploma at the Excel Center, and 96% of those graduates have graduated with either college credits or an industry-recognized credential. And again, the economic impact study by Dr. Michael Hicks out of Ball State University estimated that an increased rate of employment of individuals graduating from the Excel Center is yielding an average of $4.3 million per year in economic impact. Because of the overall impact the Excel Center can have on the entire family in breaking the cycle of poverty, Goodwill of Central and Southern Indiana now works with other Goodwills throughout the country, including Goodwill Industries of Northern Illinois, in opening this proven school model. To date, the Excel Center has opened in Austin, Texas, as Sam said, Memphis, Tennessee, Washington, D.C., and another one is approved to open in Little Rock, Arkansas this upcoming fall. And we heard earlier that similar legislation has been, similar to the legislation that has been introduced here in Illinois that would allow for opening the Excel Center has been introduced in Maryland successfully, as well as in Missouri. And in both cases, the legislation has been met with much enthusiasm from both sides of the aisle. Across the country, there are 12% of the U.S. population over the age of 25 have not completed high school. Through the Excel Center, our vision is to reduce that statistic and deliver on the mission of Goodwills to bring about hope, change, and better economic opportunity to families, communities, and individuals. And this includes impacting the 32,000 people in Rockford who currently do not have a high school diploma. We know that high school dropouts are 3 times more likely to be unemployed than college graduates. They're 3.5 times more likely to be arrested. High school dropouts earn $8,000 less per year than those who did graduate. And a child of a high school graduate is 50% more likely to drop out of high school, him or herself. Through the power of education, our goal is to set people on a pathway towards better career prospects that lead to economic self-sufficiency. We look forward to working with Goodwill of Northern Illinois to make that goal a reality and to drastically impact the future of all the individuals here in Rockford. And now it's my pleasure to introduce President Doug Jensen.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. On behalf of Rock Valley College and our Board of Trustees, I want to express how excited we are today about this Excel opportunity for the City of Rockford. We truly understand the power of education and its impacts on poverty. We are all aware of the critical need for education in our community and our workforce here in Rockford. Rock Valley College has been a proud partner with Goodwill for many years, and we are especially pleased with our collaboration with Goodwill in the recent years on our various adult educational initiatives. These are what I would refer to as threshold opportunities. The smaller we can make that threshold for somebody who is uncertain in life and facing challenges, the smaller that threshold is for people to cross over, the easier it is for that individual to understand the power of education and how it relates to quality of life. I'd like to thank you, Sam, and Goodwill for your vision on this project and the leadership that your team has put together. And I'd also like to thank the Lieutenant Governor Sanguinetti, Representative SOSNOWSKI, Representative Wallace, Representative Pritchard, and Cabello for their support on this, because without political leadership and the guidance of our political leaders, these types of initiatives do not happen. For this success, we will continue to work together. We look at the opportunity to partner not only with Goodwill moving forward, but also with our business community to create these job opportunities our citizens truly need. So thank you for the opportunity to be here today.
And now I'd like to open up the floor for questions that you may have of this very impressive panel.
Joe, can you talk about where this bill stands now and chances for passage?
Yeah, we're moving right along, and we expect, there's been, as Sam mentioned, a lot of support for it. So as we continue through the process and head to the Senate, I'm expecting that, everything will go along very well. I think we've had a lot of collaboration with the Illinois State Board of Education, the Illinois Community College Board. Everybody's on board. We've had some input from the teachers' unions, and just looking at different features of the legislation. And again, I think we've worked through all of that. It's been a little tricky here, just kind of working out some basic language, but we're excited. So we think at this point it's pretty much a done deal as far as moving forward, and just needs to go through the formality of the process, and hopefully we'll have them up and running. 30 days? You think?
Yeah.
No.
Anyone else, ma'am?
Hi, Mary Lou Castro from League of United Latin American Citizens, a national organization. I'm wondering how this applies for undocumented students and adults also that are undocumented.
Courtney,
I think that's a good.
bounces around. Have you run into that, Kim, across your travels?
Sure. The way that we have handled it in other states and all across the country so far has been that whatever the rules or the law of enrolling in school in general is throughout the state is what the Excel Center takes on as its enrollment policy.
For the high school level, so it's open to all undocumented students.
As long as the state law allows it to be open to all undocumented students, and then that would be the case as well at the Excel Center.
And then one quick question also, because I grew up in Rockford. I attended Rock Valley College, and I love the school. I think it could be a very, very powerful tool that Goodwill can collaborate with. I just hope that now with the new president coming in at Rock Valley College, that he is open to the Hispanic community. I can't talk about any other minority community, but because we have had issues before with respect to why they can't move forward. So I'm hoping Rock Valley College will be open to sit down and have a meeting with respect to helping Hispanic community move forward, because we have a lot of them that know 2 languages and are very, very, bright students. So.
Thank you. We have a few more minutes for on-topic questions. Anybody else?
Sam, you want to talk about
I would just also add, one of the key factors for the success of an Excel Center in getting the student from entry to the diploma to credentials and a job is that, and Kim can speak to this better than I, but each individual that walks through the door is immediately assigned a coach. And so they follow that person all the way through from beginning to job and even beyond that. So that goes regardless of race, color, creed. It's to treat everybody the same. So that's part of the success of the program.
It is, which also includes English language services for English language learners or people that have English as a second language.
I'm sorry, Isaac.
Yeah, Indiana receives state dollars to pay for their Excel centers. Can you talk about what an Excel center in Rockford would cost to operate and where the money would come from?
We think that, given the national numbers, it's probably in the neighborhood of $2 million a year. That would be for 300 students. And so while House Bill 2527 does not have an appropriation, we wanted to be in a position here in Rockford, in the state of Illinois, that if the federal government or any of these foundations come forward, I know Indianapolis has been talking to some of the larger foundations, we just want to be in a position to raise our hand that we're ready to implement. In fact, I was just out in DC last week. Goodwill International has a day on the Hill. And so we had 125 Goodwill CEOs and people like Courtney on the Hill lobbying, and one of those was for experimental or pay-as-you-go performance bonds, some of the creative stuff that may come out of the new administration. So again, we just want to be in a position to raise our hand, and we're ready to go. So does that help, Isaac? All right.
Well, today is a great day to celebrate. We're opening up an Excel Center should we get this proposed legislation on the part of Representative SOSNOWSKI through. We need to change the school code such that people who want to get their high school diploma could do so. In times past, the law reads that at age 21, thereafter you're only entitled to get a GED, where statistics show that a high school diploma actually makes you more valuable upon graduation as far as how your earnings would lie at that point in time. So here now, with the Excel Center and the partnership with Goodwill, we're able to do that. You know, a lot of times, Bruce Rauner and I, when we were just running for office, and we toured the state right here in Rockford, we had people to say that they had the jobs available, but there was not that qualified workforce available here. Now, with an Excel Center, let me tell you, with Goodwill and the Excel Center, we will have that qualified workforce that we so need right here in Rockford, Illinois.
With a little bipartisan support, obviously, on the bill itself, will this reach the governor's ear pretty easily?
Well, I'm hoping so because this is neither Democratic nor Republican. We need an Excel Center so that we could have that qualified workforce that we need so much in the state of Illinois.
Okay, hate to ask, can you bring it down just a pinch? Yeah, there we go.
Lieutenant Governor, can you tell us about your personal, why is this such an important personal view for you?
Well, education was the thing that saved me. I was able to go to a magnet school, and it saved me, and it allowed me to become your first Latina lieutenant governor here in the United States. And I think about my mother. She had me when she was just 15 years of age. High school, a diploma for her was never something that was available because she had me. But you know what? Now with the Excel Center, people that actually had to drop out could actually have a way to transition back and get a high school diploma and live that American dream.
And, you know, as a Hispanic individual, are these numbers fairly alarming to you, honestly, in the Hispanic population?
The numbers were not only alarming, they were astonishing, not only to the Hispanic population, but to the African American population. And we need to do something about it. We cannot let those statistics lie. That's why the Excel Center is so very important.
Why do you think they have those statistics? Why is it Hispanic and African American so high on rates?
Well, I think the rate is alarming. That gap has existed for far too many years. Now we are able to replicate what other states are doing with their Excel centers. By way of example, we have Texas, we have Indiana. They're showing a lot of promise, and they're able to graduate a lot of people that not only come out with their high school diplomas, but they're on their way to get a curriculum in place so that they could be workforce ready.
Good. If you had anything else?
Well, I love being here in Rockford. I was here just last week, and we're here for all of you guys. Amenable and accessible is the way it should be.
Thank you.